softly spoken. Your words have been so broken. I've been under your hypnosis. Why did I sip that potion? I'm so done with holy ghosting. My birth, it is an omen. Lay me down up in the ocean until you see no motion. Right now I can barely focus. I'm showing no emotion. On your knees, show your devotion. My skin is black but golden. I'm not here for bragging, boasting. I'm lying, I've been chosen. Mind is burning, hearts exploding. This is my magnum opus. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down.
Marcus Smart's going to stay up high, taking anybody coming to the ball.
Here he's on the line. Ananobi got it off, and it goes!
But still, I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me? Step in the fire.
Run up the ball! LeBron! Say it with your chest!
Let me to be rich and pride. Why these weapons fuck up and turn into shy, huh? Cell phone to your brother. Internet replace your mother. You leaving homies on red. No wonder all your friends dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you do.
If you haven't heard, the NBA is back, everybody. Welcome back to NBA. This is the first official Daily Grind fantasy live stream for this NBA season. Cannot wait to break it down, guys. Welcome back for all of our NBA members who have, gone away and come back. I know this is our main sport. I know TJ is pumped. That hype video actually sent chills down my spine. That was like my second time watching it, but it was great, man. I can tell you one thing. I'm good at picking out some hype videos. You guys have to admit that.
You are pretty good.
So let's go ahead, man. I want to hear your thoughts, TJ, just real quick on the NBA season. How hype are you? What are your thoughts on the Celtics? What are your thoughts on the season? Are you ready for this?
Oh, boy. I am. I'm so excited that basketball is back, Matt. 72-game season, obviously. We have COVID that we have to deal with. A lot of protocols that's going to be going on throughout the year. I'm excited for NBA. Obviously, it is my favorite sport to cover in DFS, followed by NFL. I'm super excited for my Celtics. Got Tristan Thompson, got Jeff T coming off the bench. Obviously, no more Gordon Hayward. So it'll definitely be interesting to watch the Boston Celtics. There were some rumors today about James Harden potentially, so we'll have to see how that all plays out. But I'm super excited that NBA is back.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually not too excited about my Spurs, but you know what? I'm still excited for the DFS aspect of it. It keeps it going. It's one of my favorite sports to cover, and it's something that we've crunched down like so mathematically. We have it down pat, TJ. Just takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of maintenance throughout the season. For any of you guys who are brand new to our channel or brand new to NBA in general, this is something we take very serious. Throughout the live streams, when people get ruled out, we'll punch out. We'll take out our calculator. We'll punch through some values and we'll look for the best values. Again, NBA is all about values, all about usage, all about what players benefit from other players being off the court. And it's very mathematical, more mathematical than some of these other sports. And it's very straightforward. And if you guys enjoy the live streams, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course, smash that like button. And feel free to sit tight throughout the entire NBA season. Let's go ahead and win some money, starting with tonight. We have a 2-game slate. We have very good teams playing right off the bat here. We have Golden State Warriors and the Brooklyn Nets facing off very first. 230 is where they opened up at. Right now, it's at a 234.5. So that's very noteworthy. Yeah, and it's substantially higher than the Clippers and the Lakers. So let's go ahead and start there, TJ. Right now, we actually have the starting lineups. I'll go through this real quick. We have Curry at point guard for the Golden State Warriors. We have Wiggins, Oubre, Pascal, and then Wiseman officially starting. However, Steve Kerr came out. I don't know if you saw it. Twitter notification. Yep, only playing in spurts. We don't know what that means, but we know that he won't play the entire game. Probably not over 30 minutes. If I had to guess, probably closer to 20 minutes, TJ. Yeah. And I think that's even a little too aggressive. He might not play that many minutes at all. So, Brooklyn Nets on the other side of the ball, we have Kyrie Irving at the point guard position, Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Jordan. Let's go ahead and start with that game. Where are you looking in terms of cash?
Yeah, so Matt, you talked about this game being significantly higher in terms of over-under than that Clippers and Lakers game. I actually see it currently at a 235 over-under. So it's 16 points more projected total points than the Clippers-Lakers game. So this is definitely the game out of the two that you want to target, I'm thinking, in terms of cash. And when we're looking at cash, Matt, the one guy that our eyes keep going to is definitely going to be Steph Curry at 9.3K. Obviously, we have no Klay Thompson, unfortunately, for the year with that brutal injury that he just had in preseason, or prior to preseason, rather.
Very unfortunate.
And obviously, yes, and we have no Draymond Green either. So, we talked about this on our picks video that we released last night. And when we're looking at Steph Curry at 9.3K, unfortunately, the sample size for him last year is very limited. He averaged 1.44 fantasy points per minute, but that was only 139-minute sample size. But when we're looking at the Golden State Warriors from a whole, Steph really doesn't have anybody to compete with in terms of shots. So when we're looking at the starting lineup, it's him, Wiggins, and Oubre realistically that are going to be the shooters. Wiseman and Pascal are going to bang down low. So I could easily see Steph Curry take 25 shots, especially if this game's going to be competitive. Golden State comes into this game at 7.5-point underdogs. So if they're going to be able to keep up with the Brooklyn Nets and that fiery offense, it's going to be Steph hitting shots. So Steph at 9.3%, coming in at, I'm showing 48% ownership. Obviously on a 2-game slate, a lot of these guys are going to be high owned, but I really do like Steph. He's my favorite play today at 9.3K. And the other guy I'm obviously looking at is going to be Pascal, stepping in for Draymond Green, averaged 0.87 fantasy points a minute last year for the Golden State Warriors. Obviously an uptick with some of those guys out, including Draymond Green. So Pascal's basically a free spot tonight in terms of cash. He'll probably be Matt, 90% owned, I'm assuming.
And cash, if he's under 95% owned, I will be very shocked.
Yeah, so on a 2-game slate, it is pretty tough to find some value here. So Eric Pascal, just go ahead and plug him in cash at 3,800. He'll probably see around 30-ish minutes. I didn't say how many minutes I think Steph will play. Probably around 32 to 34 if it's competitive. Maybe see him dive into like the 36 mark.
Sure.
But I think 34 is a pretty good number. So yeah, Steph and Eric Pascal are the two guys that I'm looking at for Golden State in terms of cash.
No, I completely agree with you. And one thing I want to talk about in terms of like the overall slate, Steph Curry, obvious elite option, obvious elite pay up option. Brooklyn Nets, we look at Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. For the Clippers, we have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and then LeBron James and Anthony Davis from the Lakers. It's about deciding which one of those guys you're going to be targeting. Well, let's do the math real quick, guys. Easy math. Brooklyn has 2 superstars. Clippers have 2 superstars. Lakers have 2 superstars. Well, Golden State has 1. Okay, so I mean, if you guys want to, use your brains here.
Whoa, hold on.
What's up,
Matt? The Golden State got Brad Wanamaker in the offseason. Are you telling me that Brad Wanamaker is not okay?
So Steph Curry, probably the only option to really look at in terms of a clear-cut superstar option. Now, I'm not saying the other options aren't great. They're great GPP options, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. But Steph Curry, you should be building your lineups around this guy. The usage is going to be through the roof, probably higher than any one of these guys, maybe with the exception of LeBron James a little bit later. But again, Steph Curry, 9.3, he's cheaper than these guys too. So just want to add that in there. If you guys want to build around Steph Curry, totally support that. He's actually the second highest owned on the slate. Yeah, 47% owned right now.
Pascal. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't check all the teams. He is actually third. So LeBron James is actually higher. But Steph Curry, the sharp play. Let me ask you this, TJ. What are we going to be doing with Wiseman? He is now expected to start. He's going to probably get around 23 minutes is what they're showing on Fantasy Cruncher, 4.9K. He's a great salary saver. I get that. But in terms of upside, and are we looking at him or are we looking at backups? What are you looking at in terms of pictures, in terms of the overall picture here?
So obviously I wouldn't recommend any of these Golden State bigs in terms of cash, right? Wiseman obviously had a very interesting college career at the University of Memphis. If you haven't looked at Wiseman and you guys don't know who Wiseman is, go look at what happened to him when he was at Memphis. It's very, very strange things that happened to that kid.
I actually didn't know, so I'm going to have to look that up.
Oh, yeah. He only played 3 games and then he declared that he was going to go to the NBA and just left the university.
Oh, never mind. No. Okay. Got it.
So Wiseman, fantastic recruit, obviously coming out of college for those 3 games that he did play. Just an absolute specimen down low. He's going to be a huge, huge key to this team moving forward. But you mentioned that Kerr said he is going to play in short spurts tonight. I would expect him to play around 20-ish minutes. I mean, when you say short spurts, he could probably, start the game and then come out at the 8-minute mark and then potentially come in with, 2 minutes left in the first quarter, then play until 10 minutes left in the second quarter. So for me, Wiseman definitely going to be more of a GPP play. We haven't seen him play in the preseason, obviously, because of COVID. So we really don't know what we're getting with Wiseman. And at 4.9K, where he isn't going to play a lot of minutes, I'm going to stay away from him. Definitely more of a tournament play because the range of outcomes for him is just so volatile that we don't know what we're going to see from him. So I'm definitely going to cool it on Wiseman. I think I would rather go to Marquise Chris at 4K if he's going to get some run at the 5. Obviously, him and Looney are both going to be backing up Wiseman. I'm interested to see who's going to be backing up Pascal, if it is going to be Marquise Chris playing the 4 or if they're going to run him at the 5. I think he could get some time at the 4. So if Marquise Chris, he's currently pegged at 15 minutes. So again, more of a tournament play for me. I'm going to stay away from these Golden State bigs. Don't recommend them in cash. Definitely more tournament plays because, again, the range of outcomes is so huge with Looney, with Wiseman, and with Chris. We just don't know what we're going to see. So I would stay away.
You're going to avoid them completely in cash is what you're saying?
Yeah, in cash, definitely. In tournaments, I'm going to do some dipping on them for sure.
Right.
The ownership's low. Kevon Looney's showing currently at 6% owned.
Yeah.
So on a 2-game
he's
slate,
actually
if I can
showing
get a guy that
for Fantasy Cruncher, which is
okay,
odd.
so
That's a bit low.
if you're going to give me between 1 and 5, I'll take 3%. If I'm going to get a 3% Kevon Looney, where you got a rookie starting at the 5 and he's going to play in short spurts, we don't know what they're going to do with Chris. And if he's projected at 18 minutes, like this is a 2-game slate. It's a chance to, take chances for sure and get different wherever you can. So if I'm going to get Looney at that type of ownership, like I'll definitely take my chances on that in tournaments.
Yeah, we got to look at the matchups too, because Brooklyn, I mean, they're starting DJ here down low, which means Jarrett Allen's going to be coming in, backing them up, right?
And that's definitely something you can exploit.
Exactly. That's a great matchup 100%. For anybody. I don't care who's playing. But that's another reason why I like somebody like Marquise Chris here. He's showing at 2.4%, guys. And if we look at the usage rate, I know there's so many different factors this season, but Marquise Chris comes in, all he does is shoot the ball. This guy averages 1.11 fantasy points per minute, 18.7% usage on the season, which isn't high at all whatsoever. But it just shows you how much he shoots. If he's still averaging that fantasy point output, that means he's also hitting shots, like actually hitting the shots. It's not like your other players where they're just constantly your KCPs of the world where they're shooting and they have a low fantasy point per minute output. He's actually hitting the shots he's taking. So I love Marquise Chris as a tournament play. He's honestly that almost as much as or as obvious of a play as he could be for cash. In my opinion, I know that's a little far-fetched, but at $4,000, we've seen this guy slam value. I don't think he's that bad of a play at all, especially now with this news that what's his face? Wiseman is playing in spurts. Are you forgetting?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
So I do like
we're saying, it is tough value tonight. So
yeah. So that's another great point. There's so many like borderline value plays. We just don't know how the rotations are going to work yet. This team has no bigs. I think you have to look for bigs for tournament plays. But for cash, getting back on track in terms of double ups and cash, Pascal, Stephon Curry. I think those are your obvious cash locks here from Golden State.
Definitely.
Let's go ahead and switch over to the Brooklyn Nets. We have the Brooklyn Nets who are projected to score more points than the Golden State Warriors. However, their price tags are a little bit higher. So Kyrie Irving being one of those options, $8,500 for a guy that's not as heavy of a usage guy as Steph Curry. But again, they should put up more points. They're projected to score 121 right now. He's 44.9% owned, which is just below Steph Curry. We have Joe Harris at 29.4%. But then, as I mentioned in my video, TJ, Kevin Durant all the way down here, $9,800. He's 17.3% owned. I think it's because the entire industry is hesitant on his minutes. What are your thoughts on the overall picture here?
So I understand what people are trying to do with KD, but I watched him play against the Celtics in that preseason game, and I understand it's preseason, but on Friday night, he only played 27 minutes, and he looked really, really, really good. His like 18 to 20-foot jumper looked crisp. He can pull up from threes. I mean, he just does it all, and it was really like, unfortunately, it was against the Celtics, but it was really nice to watch KD back on the floor. Obviously, he missed all of last year with the Achilles injury, but it is going to be very interesting to watch him and Kyrie and how they mesh throughout the year. Now, if I'm getting Kyrie or if I'm getting KD at, what was the ownership that you said, Max?
17.
Okay, 17%. I'm going to have a lot of Kevin Durant in tournaments just because that is such a leverage spot if he's going to have that type of ownership. If LeBron is going to be the third highest owned guy on the slate and AD is going to carry maybe double the amount of ownership that KD is going to show, sign me up for KD at 9,800. One of these guys is going to go off, whether it's Durant and Irving. I think that Kyrie is more of a cash play. I think KD is more of a tournament play. And that's just kind of my thought process right now. Kyrie last year. Ooh, what did I just hit? Oh, can you hear me? Yeah,
I can hear you.
Kyrie last year averaged 1.41 fantasy points per minute. Obviously, that was with Kevin Durant not playing. 31% usage rate. So, like we said, it's going to be interesting to see how they mesh. I think they're going to be really well together, unfortunately, because I don't like Kyrie at all. But yeah, Kyrie's the cash play for me. KD, tournament play. honestly, Matt, I think he might be my favorite tournament play, especially at the ownership that we're seeing currently.
100%, and you're starting to give away some Patreon content. But Kevin Durant, fantastic leverage play today, especially all of these Brooklyn Nets, because they're all somewhat overpriced. We don't know how these rotations are going to work, but I also want to talk about this, TJ. They announced the starters. Dinwiddie starting at shooting guard. Small forward, Joe Harris. Kevin Durant, power forward. DJ was a little bit of a surprise. We didn't know who would start between him or Jarrett Allen, but we get that now, which means LeVert's coming off the bench against a horrible bench in Golden State. So I think LeVert could do similar things to what he did last season. I'm not saying he's going to go off for 40, 50 points, but 6.5K, he could definitely get there, and a lot of people are off LeVert to start the season, and I understand why. But again, if he's playing from the bench, they're going to stagger between Kyrie Irving and Durant's minutes, their rotations. They should anyway, if they're going to do this smartly, and I'm assuming that Steve Nash is going to know what to do with these guys. So I love the potential here with LeVert coming off the bench. I really do.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I mean, LeVert in the bubble against the Celtics dropped 51 on our head. So he's definitely talented. He can score. He's not afraid to shoot. He's not afraid to take it to the rim either. So yeah, Matt, again, I'm just solely looking at ownership on some of these guys on a 2-game slate, like where you need to try and get different. And if LeVert, I'm showing at 15% right now, if he's going to be there coming off the bench, like you said, against a weaker Golden State bench, like, yeah, I'll definitely have some chances with him.
It's going to have the green light for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a good leverage spot.
Yeah, for sure. I think the entire roster here has the green light. I think I am a little bit off of Spencer Dinwiddie, assuming he plays with the starters that much. At $6,000, I love watching Dinwiddie. He's a beast. But at 15.3%, I think that's a little too much for me, especially if Karis LeVert's going to be lower owned. So I'm going to be all over him. Jarrett Allen's also intriguing for reasons we've already said. Let's go ahead and move on past this game. That is the obvious game to stack, though, by the way. Okay, if you guys want to get very contrarian, then stack the other game. Not saying it's smart, but this is where the ownership will be in terms of GPPs, and this is where the obvious stacks are going to be. We talk about stacking in our other NBA video, but if you're going to be stacking, this is going to be the game that's probably going to be higher scoring than the Lakers and Clippers, which we'll transition to here. The Clippers, looking at some of these value plays, you call out Luke Kennard being the obvious cash play, and I saw his ownership rise throughout the day, which is actually pretty funny. So $3,600, that it started at about 20%. Now it's at 42.9%. Do you still believe in that chalk? Where are you looking for this Clippers roster?
Yeah, Matt, real quick, I just want to touch base on one more guy for Brooklyn. I just want to say Joe Harris in the starting lineup. I think he's going to get a lot of open looks. If he can hit threes, I think he's a really good cash play at 4,800. But moving on to the Clippers and Lakers, because we did just take a really long time breaking down that one game. Yeah, if I'm looking at cash, I really like Ibaka at 5,200, given that he starts, hoping that he starts.
We don't have the starting rosters right now.
Right. Okay, so probably coming off the bench, maybe they do start Zub at the 5 and then Ibaka coming off the bench, which is fine. Doesn't bother me. Very productive scorer. 1.14 fantasy points per minute last year for the Raptors, 23% usage rate. So again, if he's coming off the bench, might not have to deal with Kawhi and Paul George. We know Ibaka is not afraid to shoot from 3, and at 5,200, I think he's really cheap. And Matt, I think there's some really good value here for the Clippers as well. Like Nick Batum, if Batum is currently projected to start for Morris, because Morris is out. So if Batum starts at 4,100 and projected at 26 minutes, I definitely don't hate him as like a last piece plug and play, along with Luke Kennard at 3,600 coming off the bench for the Clippers, projected currently at 22 minutes, only a 0.77 fantasy point per minute player, and Batum only a 0.65 fantasy point per minute player last year. Obviously, these are last year stats.
Yep.
So I don't hate either of those guys as last pieces for cash because they're so cheap. And again, we're looking for value and it is tough to come by on 2-game slates. Those are two guys that I think you could plug and play. Feel confident that they can at least get you value. I like Kennard a little bit more than Batum, but with Batum probably being the starter at the 4, definitely don't hate that.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me with Kennard is his 21 minutes projected right now. Like, we just don't know what to expect from this team. Ibaka could be out there. 28 minutes, I love that a lot more. I like some of these bench players like Lou Will, I've already talked about so much. Lou Will playing 26 minutes, he's projected. I think it's a little conservative, maybe closer to 28 minutes, just looking at the firepower, lack of firepower from the second unit. Nick Batum, Mr. Consistent. I mean, you don't expect a ceiling game from him at this point in his career. You can only expect about 20 points. But again, if you're looking for an extra extra cash option. I will say this, since we don't know the starting lineups, you guys might want to save some salary just to adjust for whoever's going to start, because those are going to be some guaranteed minutes for you guys. We just don't know. If Batum does start power forward, like, yes, I do like him for cash. I don't think he's going to be a fantastic tournament play. Zubac, we know how efficient he is on the board, but again, he only projected 23 minutes right now. So long story short, we don't know.
I think if I had to guess, Matt, I think it's going to be Bev, Paul George, Kawhi, Batum, and then one of Zub or Ibaka. I bet Ibaka comes off the bench, honestly. Let Zub and Gasol kind of bang down low, and then watch Montrez and Ibaka just beat the crap out of each other.
Right. No, I can agree with that. Let's talk about these superstars, though, because we haven't touched base on Paul George or Kawhi. So I love Kawhi, and I especially love him when he's playing LeBron James, because he, look at what he did in the playoffs. All you need to do is go back to last season. He's hitting his price tag virtually every single time, except for that one game versus Denver, which, as you guys know, they got upset. But Kawhi Leonard, a monster in prime time, a monster when the TV's on. I love the matchup even more against the Lakers. $9,100. I think he's slightly flying under the radar right now at 34.3%, which is actually surprising. A lot of people forget how dominant he was in the playoffs last season. I think he carries that over. Paul George, $7,800. The ownership's more on him. What are your thoughts on that, TJ?
Yeah, I'd rather go with Kawhi. I hate what I saw from Paul George in the bubble, especially late. Playoff Pete was pretty brutal. But yeah, Kawhi at 9,100 again, Matt. I think he's kind of flying under the radar as well. Very productive last year for the Clippers, obviously. 1.45 fantasy points per minute and garnered a 32% usage rate. No Montrezl Harrell, and I just think a game where they're playing the Lakers, defending champions, going up against LeBron. Like, we know how much of a gamer Kawhi is, and at 9,100, it's a pretty cheap price tag for him. So yeah, if I'm choosing between Kawhi and Paul George, I'm leaning Kawhi. But Paul George is also cheap at 7,800 too. I mean, they're gonna need scoring. So Morris is out, obviously, and again, no Montrezl Harrell this year. So I like both of them. If I'm leaning between one or the other, it's definitely going to be Kawhi for me.
I completely agree with that. I don't think you go any other way but Kawhi from this team. If you're looking for a safe option, everybody else is strictly up in the air. I think that's your only, I guess, quote-unquote cash play if you can actually get to him. But the cash plays actually come from the other game. And when I say cash plays, I literally mean just LeBron James. I think that's your obvious cash play from this game. 51.6% owned. Is that the only person you're looking at, TJ? I know you love AD as a tournament play. Are you still on that boat?
If I'm going cash, Matt, I still kind of like AD. I just don't know who do they have that can cover AD? Matchup. It's just, I mean, like Zub, like Ibaka off the bench, like is Batum going to try and mark AD? Like, they don't have anybody that can cover AD. And when you think about LeBron, like, yeah, if Kawhi wants to mark him, like, Kawhi can handle LeBron. Now, he probably can't shut him down, but if anybody in the NBA can, it's definitely Kawhi Leonard. So
right.
If this game gets close down the stretch in the fourth quarter, like, I expect a heavy dose of Anthony Davis. So yeah, if I'm choosing between the two, I'm leaning AD, but I understand the ownership for both. And again, a lot of these guys' ownerships are inflated because it's only a 2-game slate. I feel like a broken record, but just want to reiterate that. So yeah, I'd rather go AD if I'm choosing between the two tonight. That's just me. I just think he has a better matchup.
And technically, that's a contrarian pick. And you know what, TJ? Based on that information, you might want to play tournaments tonight. Just saying.
I am going to.
Yeah.
You better believe that.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, we're taking advantage of casuals playing tonight. Okay, so if you guys want to load up, no, I'm just kidding. Don't throw all your money down. But if you want to play tonight and expect some success, then play tonight, because again, there's so many people playing. They're going to be playing all the obvious guys, and they won't know about people like Pascal starting or not. Yeah, starting. Not starting. Yeah, starting. Sorry. But yeah, so I think that's the whole slate, TJ. So I guess.
All right, guys, we'll be talking to you.
No, I guess, do you want to go ahead and talk about your favorite cash plays like we normally do, and then we'll go ahead and answer some questions and kind of interact with everybody here?
So in terms of cash, the guys that I'll be locking in, so like if I had a core, it's definitely going to be Pascal. I think he's a free space tonight if you are playing cash. Again, he'll be around 90-ish%. If you want to take chances on fading him, do it in tournaments. Don't do it in cash. If he hits value, doesn't hit value, doesn't matter. Everybody's going to be on him at 3,800. Steph Curry's my other lock. Definitely like Steph tonight against Brooklyn. Again, 7.5-point dogs on the road. They're going to need offense. Brooklyn's defense is going to be horrible all year. I can tell you right now that they're going to probably be, I'd say, in the bottom 5 in terms of defensive teams. They're going to be heavy on offense, obviously, with the talent that they have. So I really like Steph Curry. I think he can get loose tonight. My bold, I don't know if it's a bold prediction, but I think Steph Curry goes for the most raw points tonight in this 2-game slate. And if I was picking a third, I would probably go with Joe Harris. I like him at 4,800. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities with Kyrie and KD. A lot of defenses are going to hone in on those two guys. So if he can get hot and hit his shots, I love him at 4,800. Nick Batum, I think he's a really good last piece at 4,100. Again, if he is starting, which I think he will at the 4, he'll see the minutes, probably play around 26 to 28 minutes. Now, he's not somebody that's going to wow you on the stat sheet, but I think he's a guy that can get you 20 DraftKings points tonight. And Matt, I think those would probably be my 4 right now. If I can fit Kyrie in, I think that's where I'll go as well. And I think that's something that I can easily do. But yeah, if I had to give 3, it's going to be Steph, it's going to be Pascal, and it's going to be Joe Harris for me. Those would be my 3 cash locks right now.
I agree with Pascal, Curry.
Yeah, you're a little hesitant on Joe Harris.
I'm actually not. I think that the Brooklyn Nets are going to break the slate. The one person I'm hesitant on, and I think it's going to end up being bad chalk, is Kennard, and you didn't even mention him, which is fine.
Yeah, he's
22
he's
minutes,
more of a
man.
lap piece, like I said with Batum. Yeah,
it's just terrifying. We know Kennard's a shooter, and if he misses his shots, doesn't get his shots to go down, and in the 22 minutes he plays, it's gonna spank you. But I do love, and I this is my bold prediction for the slate. I think the Brooklyn Nets, they have so much value, and there's so many bench players that can step up tonight, including LeVert, and I think that one of them will break the slate, completely just shatter the slate. So I love the value all over the Brooklyn Nets. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. If you guys don't know how this works, we answer questions at the very end of the live stream. Just go ahead and spam the chat. We'll get to them because TJ, fast reader, and he'll get to the questions.
Guys, I read so fast.
Yes.
All right, boom, let's go. So Grant hit me with some knowledge, or not some knowledge. He tried to trick me. He said he's got a winning lineup tonight with an ex-Celtics. Who's it going to be? It's Brad Wanamaker. Brad Wanamaker at 3,300 tonight. I'll have some shares of him for sure. Grant, I like where your head's at. Dennis Schroeder going to ball out at 5,800 tonight. Matt, we didn't even talk about Schroeder. If Schroeder is good to go, which it looks like he is, and he's going to start, I definitely love him as a tournament play at 5,800. I think he could be very good for the Lakers this year, especially with Rondo out.
Yeah.
Or not out, gone, excuse me. Don't sleep on KCP. Tournament play. Don't hate it. TJ, get a beanie that fits. Working on it. I have a really small head. Spurs suck. Yes, they do.
Okay.
Lakers back-to-back, in my opinion. What would you say?
2 roasts back-to-back.
Oh, yeah.
They're just coming in
Lakers back-to-back. Definitely could see that. They have a very good roster. My main questions for the tournament. Oubre or Wiggins, Harrell or Ibaka, Batum or KCP, Lou or Schroeder. Okay, Grant. I would go Oubre over Wiggins. I would go Harrell over Ibaka. I would go KCP over Batum.
I like Ibaka.
Okay. I'd go KCP over Batum, and I would go Schroeder and Lou. That's tough because I like both of them tonight.
I like Lou because I've been on them all.
I know you like Lou. I'll go Lou with you. I'll go Lou.
Right, but real quick, I want to get to the Patreon question. By the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the Patreon Premium Discord chat, okay? So I can watch them. I can see them come in. Gasol, Chris, or Morris at center. I'm assuming you're talking about the Markieff Morris because the other Morris is out. Markieff Morris is projected at 7 minutes, so go ahead and get rid of him. Gasol or Chris? I'm going to say Chris. Chris has more upside.
I go Markieff Chris. Yep. Markieff Chris. I agree with you.
And then I'm done with the questions.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Spurs suck. Yes, they do.
Okay.
So Ibaka going to be a lock, or does Davis just shut him down? It's going to be interesting to see how much Ibaka actually plays with AD on the floor. If they do start Ibaka, then you could see, I mean, AD is probably going to play the whole first quarter. That's what they did last year was LeBron would play the first 8 minutes. AD would play the whole first quarter. He would sit out. LeBron would come back in. So if Ibaka comes in for Zoob, he could probably see maybe 5 minutes of AD and then kind of have some leeway there with AD on the bench to start the second quarter if Ibaka is in to start the second quarter. So I don't think AD necessarily shuts Ibaka down. So I really like Ibaka tonight. I know Matt does as well.
Yep.
What's up, fellas? Dinwiddie, Wiseman, or Schroeder, DJ? Assuming DJ and Wiseman play, I would go Schroeder and DJ tonight.
Real quick, got a bunch of questions coming in on the Discord. We have Paul George or Kyrie for cash. I like Kyrie for cash. Yep. Favorite prize picks tonight. When Steph was at 48.5, I love the over on him. I believe it's come up since then. Do not like it as much anymore.
You know what, Matt? I did it a little earlier. I thought you had it at 46, or am I wrong?
It was at 46, but that was very early on.
Okay.
It's now.
That's what it was. Okay, it's at 48 and a half. I still like that.
I still
over.
like that over too.
I took that over. If that makes anybody feel better or worse, I don't know. But I took the over of Curry 48 and a half.
For the Patreon members, listen real quick. Yep. For the Patreon members, I will not be putting out prize picks until we know the usage rates because I want to give you guys the edge on that. So prize picks probably won't happen for another week or two. Okay, premium prize picks will not be coming out on Patreon for another week or two. Okay. Real quick, can you play Pascal and tourneys if you are contrarian elsewhere? Absolutely. Recommend that. Yep. Pascal's like a free square. But again, as you guys know, he's one of the most inflated guys in the slate. So if you want to get different in that spot, you can literally just fade him, and then you're already different than 30% or 71% of the lineups. So are you guys fading Wiseman? Yes. For the most part.
Yeah. I'm not going to fully fade him, but I'm definitely going to come in under the field. So right now I see Wiseman. Let me just refresh. I currently am seeing Wiseman at, where are you, Wiseman? I'm seeing Wiseman at 24%. So I will come in under 24% just because I don't trust the minutes and we don't know what the production is going to be like. If he absolutely smashes and somehow plays 24 to 26 minutes, which I highly doubt, then I'll still have some chances in some tournaments because I will be playing him. I will just be coming under the field on him.
I agree with that.
King James or AD? I'm on AD.
I like King James for cash, and I think that AD is a great tournament play.
Matt, favorite center?
Favorite center.
Is it Marquise Chris for you?
For tournaments, yes, it's still going to be Chris. For cash, it's going to be Ibaka still. Yeah, Ibaka's a standout option there.
I like Harrell and I like Ibaka.
And Jarrett Allen could break the slate, just saying.
Okay. What else do we have? Any prize picks? We just talked about that. We talked about fading Wiseman. Kent Bazemore.
No.
I mean, no, you're just completely off Bazemore?
Yeah. How many minutes is he projected anyway? 19
17?
No.
Okay. I don't hate him. He's definitely a streaky shooter and he can get hot, not afraid to shoot threes. And I mean, in offense, that's going to need scoring outside of Steph Curry. I expect Wiggins and Oubre to kind of fill that role, but I wouldn't hate taking a chance with Kent Bazemore. Like I said, he can get hot from three.
One thing we didn't talk about real quick, just got a question in the Discord. Is Horton Tucker getting minutes tonight? Great question. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say he's pegged at 13.
So 11.
I would avoid him. If you want to take a chance on him in a tournament, if you're playing, like an M20 or an M150 or what have you tonight, you can have him in a couple lineups, but I wouldn't go too crazy on him. I would expect him to start maybe getting some more minutes as the regular season progresses. But for right now, I think he was more of a preseason darling, so I wouldn't look too far into it right now.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, he definitely has potential.
Let's see. Alex Caruso from the Lakers a play? I don't think so. I'm off of him. They got Wes Matthews now, obviously KCP. They got Schroeder. So I think they have a lot of options now at the guard position. I just don't know what the minutes are going to look like for Caruso right now.
Favorite play on, sorry, I'm jumping way ahead. It's just excited me. Favorite play in Brooklyn for tournament, Kevin Durant by far?
Yeah, I like KD as well.
Bron,
Durant a good cat. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Bron/Harris or Kawhi/Lou? First of all, is that for cash or GPP? I'm assuming it's for GPP because you have some GPP plays in there. But I love the first one for cash, and I love the second one for GPPs.
Yep, I agree with you. 20-person league since KPJ out, Denny. Okay, we're talking about. Okay, we're not. That's not for tonight. Chris or Looney in tournaments. I know Matt likes Marquise Chris, but like
I really do.
Looney's like 5% owned, so it's just.
Well, so is Chris.
Marquise. So. Okay, if Marquise Chris is showing that ownership, then yeah, give me Marquise Chris. But like, if he's 3%. More than, yeah,
I don't know why everybody's off of him. I guess people forget about what he did last season. I don't know.
Marquise Chris?
Yeah, dude, he was a beast, and he was in preseason too.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a little wild down low. I have him at 18%, and I have Looney at 6%. So if that's the case, like, I don't know, man. Just it's kind of crazy that he's that cheap. Chips is drinking out of the Christmas tree water. What else is new? Any love for Wes Matthews?
No.
Yeah, tournaments, I guess. Probably going to be coming off the bench. I like him defensively more than I do offensively. A guy that can hit threes, but I just don't think he's very productive. Saw it on the Bucks. I mean, he was sub 4K for a while there for Milwaukee, and there were, a bulk of games where he would be barely hitting value. So don't love it. But guys, you got to remember, this is a 2-game slate. So if you're going to get different, you got to take chances with some of these cheaper guys. Somebody's going to come off the bench for one of these teams and get hot, hit threes, and break the slate. So yeah, in a season opener where we're looking at just 2 games, don't break your bankroll tonight. Manage your money carefully. I know everybody's excited that NBA is back, but just make sure you're not throwing down all your money on a 2-game slate when we have a 13-game slate tomorrow night.
Yeah, 13-game slate's going to be exciting. By the way, video will be out probably tomorrow morning for that. So much to cover.
It's 4Gs too.
Also, real quick, for all the Patreon members watching, guys, the sheet will not be finalized until like 15 minutes till lock or like 5 minutes till lock. That's how NBA works. There's always updates. Like the ownership updates literally per minute at this point. So you guys can start building lineups. I just want to say that in general, start building lineups about 30 minutes in advance if you guys need plenty of time, 15 minutes in advance if you're a little bit more advanced, and then even up through lock. We have plenty of videos on how to update your lineups through Fantasy Cruncher, through Excel, all that good stuff. Okay, so this is a different beast. As you know, as TJ knows, this is, you literally get usage updates 24/7. Injuries happen, especially tomorrow. I'm assuming we won't get updates till like right before lock, and it's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy.
Bear with us, please.
Yes, please do that.
What do you think, Matt?
I'm sorry.
We got 6:38.
Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and get off in a couple minutes. We'll answer a few more questions.
There was one question that Oubre or LeVert for tournaments. I kind of like LeVert.
I do. I like LeVert too.
I know a lot of the offense is gonna fall on Wiggins and Oubre because it's Steph Curry, but I kind of like LeVert.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
I like both of them.
Let me go ahead and get off now, TJ, because I have a lot of updating to do. I just looked at my computer, it's giving me anxiety. All right, so guys, thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow it's going to be the exact same thing, except we're going to be talking for about an hour and a half with the 13-game slate. So guys, feel free to tune in. It's been a blast. It's going to continue to be a blast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for all your support. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more NBA live streams, daily live streams. This week it's going to be a little bit crazy because it's Christmas, as you guys know. So happy holidays, happy early holidays to everybody. Happy Merry Christmas to every single person out there. So with all that being said, guys, have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your night. Let's cash. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Life I barely spoken. Your words have been so broken. I've been under your hypnosis. Why did I sip that potion? I'm so done with holy ghosting. My birth, it is an omen. Lay me down up in the ocean until you see no motion. Right now I can barely focus. I'm showing no emotion. On your knees, show your devotion. My skin is black but golden. I'm not here for bragging, boasting. I'm lying, I've been chosen. Mind is burning, heart's exploding. This is my magnum opus. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down.
Marcus Smart's going to stay up high, take anybody coming to the ball.
Series on the line, Anunoby got it off, and it goes!
But still, I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me? Step in the fight.
LeBron off the ball! LeBron! Say it with your chest!
Let me to be rich and pride. Why these weapons fuck up and turn into shy, huh? Cell phone to your brother. Internet replace your mother. You leaving homies on red. So wonder all your friends dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you do.